Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, a little bit of a camera issue today, so you're seeing the avatar and not me, but you're going to be seeing the feed actually that we do for TikTok. So that kind of be interesting. Well, the market is moved to a confirmed uptrend, and that's definitely an interesting. Let's kind of move this around here. There we go, so we can be looking at the chart. There we go. Okay, super. All right, so the market has moved basically to a confirmed uptrend, and what that means is, what that means is basically we need to come. I started coming out of cash today, and moving a little bit more into, just a little bit more into the market. I'm not fully vested yet, but I'm trying to. I'm trying. I'm definitely trying to get there. With these moves. So let's see if we can get the charts correct here. Yeah, let's see. Well, it's not letting me do that. Gosh, there's two there. Well, huh? Okay. Well, let's see if I can. Let's see if let's see if I can make this work. Oh goodness gracious! Let's see if I can do that. Let's get it over here. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's see if we can go to the. There we go. Let me can get to the menu. There. No, jeez. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so sorry about that. All right. So basically, here's what the deal is today. These are stocks that I am buying today. Let me take some of these. Let's take some of these banners off here. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can get that off there too, so you can see it. Okay. All right. So basically, these are some of the stocks that I'm buying today. We went to a confirmed, we went away from an uptrend under pressure to a confirmed uptrend. So basically, I have been buying stocks today. I did buy Palantir down a little bit, but I do think it's reversed nicely. I also um, I also bought Star Bulk Carriers, and that's something that you might be. It's up quite strongly today, 1.13%, which is quite nice. So we'll see how that one works as well. Um, Also, and I did go into a position in Salesforce. This one really has gapped up nicely. It's just amazing how this one's taken off. I did buy this one. We're doing pretty well on it as well. Just want to kind of show you the portfolio allocation in my smart portfolio. Now, I'm still 43% in cash. I'm kind of waiting, possibly till Monday to buy more. But basically, on Thursday, I was down to just Macy's, if you can believe that, and then I added Snap, Palantir, and Salesforce to the small portfolio. So I'm coming back into the market. So hopefully that will work. Hopefully that will work coming forward here. So let's see if I can. No, it's not letting me do it. It's not letting. I don't have a camera. That's part of my issue. I'm having again issues with the camera. So let's see if we can get to some of the questions because this is Friday. So let's see if we can stop sharing that. And there we go. Gosh, I am just having some difficulties technically here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's just see if we can get to the charts up here. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sorry for that because I was a little too working on the railroad here, so I didn't quite get to get to everything to do. So I for some reason my camera is not, my normal camera is not working. So I'll just have to deal with the way it is. So let's kind of share the screen and let's see if we can do that. Right, share the screen. Okay, good. Now I'm going to see if I can get the other component in here. Man, this is not easy. They need to make it easier with StreamYard. I'm afraid to say this is not as easy as I would have liked to have seen it. Let me see if I can kind of jigger things around here and make. Oh, come on, come on. All right, let's see if I can. There we go. Okay, now I think you can see me. Yeah, I'm going to show you what my other feed is here, and it's I should be better at I've done this. I've been doing this for a year, so I at least a year, so I should be better at this than I am. But for some reason, I don't know. Today just isn't working. But anyways, let's go to Palantir, and that may work better. Palantir, and let's go over to the screen. There. Now, now I think, now I think that's going to work better. There we go. Okay, I'm finally, I'm finally looking at the right thing here. All right. So, I'm sorry about that. Let's get up to the correct amount here. There we go. There we go. All right. So so now I can answer some of your questions. I'm sorry about that. It just wasn't working for me today. I can't understand it. So here we go. Thank you. What do you think about Tesla? I love Tesla. I have a spread on Tesla, and it is doing quite well. So let's take a look at Tesla and kind of see where we're at. TSLA. There we go. Okay, up nicely today, up to 774. And interestingly enough, the thing about the way the spread works that I have, it basically pays out all the money if it gets up to 780, which is very close to right now. So that's looking very, very good. That's looking very, very good. And so I do think you can definitely start coming into Tesla now. Finally, we've gotten rid of that overhead supply. Boy, it took forever. This is the high here, 780, and as you can see, I've been kind of holding in there, buying those positions and then just kind of holding. But I definitely have this very nice spread trade on Tesla right now. I'll show it to you here just a second here if I can bring it up and show that as well. So let's do that. Right, and I'm just going to pull up. This is the spread trade on Tesla that I did have. So oops, kind of bring that up. There we go. It's a calendar spread. Interestingly enough. So let's see if I can get that looking good. I'm just arranging the windows. I'm kind of, as I always say, I'm arranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, and that's kind of what I feel like I'm doing here. But anyways, this is the spread trade that I have on Tesla, and it's a good trade because now if you were on the action trade alerts, you probably saw this one. But basically, when we started out, when we opened the trade, it was basically trading here at about 740, but it's moved up today significantly to to almost 700. So let's kind of take a look and see if we can move some of this around. So this is the spread trade that if you were on the action trade alerts, you definitely got to see. So basically today, Tesla is it looks like it's closed at about 774. Okay, so that's kind of good. Look at that. Oops. Just sort of there we go. 774. So today Tesla has basically closed today. Let's put that in there. There we go. A lot of steps here to do this, but let's see if that will work. Yeah, almost. There we go. So this is where Tesla closed today at 774.39. And if you've been in this trade, you'll know that we started out this spread trade on the 21st, and by my calculations, this spread trade today should be worth about 774. So it's the 24th today, so let's move it up to 774. So right today, as you can see, we started here and we're here now. This is the spread trade that we're talking about. Kind of move that back there a little bit. Just put it up. Kind of get the idea. I'm kind of rearranging things here so that you can kind of see where we've gone on this trade so far. But I'm going to pull this down. There we go. So, um, so basically, what's happened? We opened on the 21st, and of course, 3 days later, we're up here, and per contract is made 224. So that could be a very, very nice trade that you can do. So I am very bullish, and I'll just kind of I'm gonna kind of put this one back. But I definitely think you can start buying Tesla right now. I definitely think, you can buy Tesla. So I definitely think finally we're at a point where, it's a good time to start moving back into Tesla. Which is a good thing. So I think, time to move back into Tesla. So I'm very much liking um, I'm very much liking the action on Tesla, and of course I have the spread trade as well, and so I definitely think this is a good time to get back into Tesla. As you can see, we're finally getting rid of this overhead supply here, and it does look like we're going to be moving higher. So that's a pretty exciting thing when it comes to that. So I definitely think you can move in back into Tesla again. If you did our spread trade, you're up quite considerably on that, and so that's looking very, very good. So thank you very much for that. So definitely, I would say, Tesla is a buy right now. Okay, so Tesla is a buy, and I think that that's a pretty darn good thing. Let's see. I'm 100% in Bitcoin. Should I diversify? Absolutely. And here's the thing: I did put out. I don't know if you saw this, if everyone saw this, but we did have a situation, and let me see if I can kind of show you. We had a situation today where the Chinese government basically, the Chinese government basically banned Bitcoin. So I think that probably a very prudent, probably to sell some of your Bitcoin now, especially if you have some gains, because let's take a look at let's check in with the Bitcoin price. Let's check in with the Bitcoin price, but it looks like we did interesting. Oh, this is interesting. We did have a bounce today. Interesting. So we did have a little bit of a bounce here on Bitcoin. We did have a little bit of a bounce here on Bitcoin, and it does appear it's being up. But I would be very careful because China did ban Bitcoin. So I'm gonna pull that article up here. The reason China bans this is, yeah, there we go. So basically, this is from the BBC here, and we've got to be very careful, and very careful about this because China basically did. They just declared all of the cryptocurrency transactions illegal. So I definitely think you need to diversify. I'm not saying it's the end of Bitcoin. I certainly wouldn't know if that were the case. But I think you've got to be extremely careful when it comes to Bitcoin right now, just because it doesn't appear it is like it's doing as well as it was before. So let's take a look also at the GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, because that's going to give us an idea of what's happening with Bitcoin, and it definitely fell. So this is not a good this is not a good sign. What we wanted to see, I had my buy limit in here for Bitcoin. Basically, if it moved beyond about 4102, and unfortunately, it's at 3423, and that is indeed a problem because we did break out and we moved higher, but now we're pulling back, and it's starting to see a lot of weakness in Bitcoin. Now, what is the GBTC? Well, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is a trust that holds approximately 4% of the world's Bitcoin. So that's something that you've got to look at very, very carefully. This typically is a proxy for the overall market. Now, two things have happened that I think uh, two things have happened. So you might want to diversify away from crypto if you have a lot of Bitcoin, because first of all, the Chinese government declared that crypto transactions are illegal, and also, the GBTC is pulling back. So that's telling me we're probably going to see some more pain in crypto in the coming days. Now, it's not over with. I'm not saying that crypto is finished and all that stuff, but at least for right now, I think that we're going to see some serious pullbacks in crypto. And that's something that we've got to look at very, very carefully because that could make a huge difference in terms of, really in terms of everything. So, I would be very, very careful with crypto, and I would be very careful about about doing about having your entire portfolio in crypto. I think it's very difficult. I think it's a difficult position to be in if you're in if you're in crypto. So that's the kind of thing. I have a question coming from TikTok. Is the website down? Well, we are broadcasting on. We did have a little bit of a problem, technical problem, with one of our cameras, and so I'm using the feed from TikTok to show you on YouTube. But you can see all the charts and everything on YouTube. I can broadcast the charts on YouTube, but I can't, unfortunately, broadcast them on TikTok. So that's kind of the long and short of it. So let's take the next question from TikTok. I mean, from from YouTube. Excuse me. Let's look at HD. Thank you, Samuel, very much for that. HD. There we go. Well, this is actually a good setup too. This is Home Depot, of course, and it is setting up very, very nicely. It's interesting. One of the best times to buy is when we get these changes in direction. As you can see, we definitely have a change in direction. You can see the market trend is moving to, is moving up. So we definitely have a change in direction here, and this is now we're going to see some of the better stocks come out of their bases and possibly move higher. Definitely, Home Depot is in that category. It's an excellent stock, and definitely on. I made a notation here on the 10th that we definitely had, we have potentially a pivot going on here, so let's kind of look to see. Let's see if we've improved in terms of the checklist. Checklist is excellent on this, so this is working quite well, and it appears that it's set up very nicely. It's a resale wholesale building, so that's a pretty good area. So I would say definitely if you're looking to buy, if you're looking to buy, this one might be one that you might want to look at because it definitely looks good. So I like Home Depot here. This is a very good chart, and the buy point on it is 338.55. So we're right below the buy point. This is a good place to buy. There's a base on base pattern. So I would say, Samuel, that I think you're looking at a very good stock, and I definitely think that would work. I definitely think HD is definitely, and you definitely could buy it at the and it, at this level. Let's look at CEI and see if that is going to give us a cheaper energy. Okay, I don't know this stock. This is a penny. Well, it's not really a penny stock, but it is a less expensive stock, and it definitely is very, very volatile. It's got a 99 relative strength, which is good. It's in a good area. Of course, this is the E&P area. Now, I do have I do have holdings in this area. So let me see what I got. I've got DMLP, which is a lot more expensive stock. The penny stocks are a little bit difficult for me, but I do have DMLP. So let's look in on that one. DMLP. I bought this one on Monday, and of course we're doing very nicely on that. So you can see by my, I don't know if you can read this, you can see this, but I did buy a full position in this one, Dorchester Minerals, and of course this is a natural gas play, and it should do very, very well into this one should do very, very well into the end of the year because I think there's going to be a natural gas shortage, especially in the Northeast. So we ought to see some very strong pricing increases on natural gas. Not so good for the people in New England, but very good if you have a property that is in the natural gas business. And this one is quite a good one, Dorchester Minerals. It's still buyable. I bought in basically on the 23rd, which is basically yesterday, for uh, for 17.54. We're currently up to about 18 after hours, so about up 50 cents. So not a tremendous amount, but pretty good for one day. You got to admit that's pretty good for one day. So that's a good one as well. to take a look at. All right, so we have a question from TikTok. Um, what are your thoughts on DraftKings? Well, that's a good question because DraftKings, DKNG, I mean, I've definitely had DraftKings here. So let's go over to DraftKings. DraftKings is unfortunately pulling back, as we can see, it's pulling back, and I hate to say that because I definitely like it. I've played DraftKings quite a bit, but I think here's the thing I'm seeing with DraftKings, and it's a difficult situation with DraftKings because with DraftKings, even though, and let's go over here to the weekly chart, just kind of look at the fundamentals. Now, normally I do technical analysis, but sometimes I do fundamental analysis. And here's the thing: we've gotten tremendous increases in the sales on DraftKings. Look at that; it's up 320%. But look at this. This is not good. These are all losses. This should be making money. So here's the thing: unless something changes with DraftKings, I think they're going to have to be more profitable going forward. So I like the stock, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to hold on to the. And I'm looking at the weekly chart here. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to hold on to that 200-day line. That's such a critical line for me. So my gut feeling on DraftKings right now is I think that you got to watch list it. So I would watch list BK and G and don't buy it. So that's kind of how I would kind of how I would go with DraftKings. I think you just basically got to watch list it right now, and it's not a good time to buy it, unfortunately. So that's kind of the that's kind of the that's kind of the deal with DraftKings. All right. Let's see if we can get another question. Yeah, thank you. This is kind of open question Friday. Let's look at AMD. Thank you. I bought AMD today, by the way, so this is very timely for me. I've been moving back into the market today because of the change in the to the confirmed uptrend, and I definitely bought AMD today. AMD was looking very, very good. We were up today about almost 2%, and it's with this cup with handle. And let's just kind of zoom in a little bit on this to see if we can give you this. Right? There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna zoom in a little bit on on the chart here, so that we can see it a little bit better. So let's kind of let go over there. There we go. And yeah. Okay. So what happened is, we had this double bottom here, very nice pattern. That was back in September. This is all that way back last year. Then we had this cup, and then we had this breakout. Now, I was in on this breakout. When we broke out of this cup with handle right here, I was in on that from about 95 up to about 116. I took profits at 116 only because it pulled back. It went up actually to 122. That was the high. And now it's consolidated, and it looks like we've come back to yeah, and we've come back to the 40-day line, and it looks like we're getting some support there. That's very good. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 3 days up, and then we're off just a tad today, but we've got support, so we definitely have support. So right now is probably a very good time for AMD. What I've done is I've reactivated the trend line there, so I can see if it crosses above or below. Now, what happened is it moved up very quickly and then it corrected, formed kind of this base pattern, and now it's reversing higher. So this is a potentially good time, I believe, to get in. I bought on the reversal. Now I bought at 105.59. It actually closed at 105.80, approximately 105.80. So it did pull back from its high, but I was able to buy it on the intraday. So I do think with AMD we're going to get some support here. So what I would say with AMD is I think that I think that AMD is a buy right now. And I definitely think that, you might want to consider this one because, oops, um, okay, I've got to delete some of these. So there we go. AM, AMD is a buy at um, 105 and above. It's a buy at 105. There we go. So here's what I think about oops, that's Sabre. I was talking about Sabre yesterday. So here's what I'm thinking about AMD. AMD definitely is a buy. We've moved past that reversal line. I think it's a buy at 105, and we're right above 105. So even though we're technically not in a buy zone, I think you can buy it here. Why? Because this is a reversal off of the 40-day moving average above the reversal line. So this is a good place to get in. Now, a concern that I do have. Now, here's the interesting thing. Looking at the volume, you'll notice that the volume is decreasing. Let's see, put that on there. Yeah, you'll notice that the volume here is decreasing. Well, that tells me that the weak hands are not selling. So I do expect that we're going to see some more action here. When you see it go up in 3 days in a row and the volume go down, especially when the buying volume goes down, that means that people are not willing to sell. And because they're not willing to sell, people are going to have to pay the bid price. So this pushes the stock up. So this is a bullish signal on AMD. So I think AMD is a definite buy at about 105, and I think that's going to be a very good area to be in. Okay, and also let's take the second one. I really like this HOLX. I'm not in this one, but I do like it. I do definitely like this one. So let's look at HOLX. Yeah. And okay, it's pulling back a little. Whole logic seems to be pulling back a little bit. It's out of the buy zone. What happened is that it moved past that buy point, that 7717, excuse me, buy point, and it moved up very nicely. But then it got up to 81. It ran out of gas, and now it's pulling back and consolidating. Can you buy it at this point? Well, I think I would probably be a little bit careful here because there's a number of factors that I think I want to show you on this chart. So let's pull that. Let's zoom in there a little bit. There we go. On this, there we go. And let's take a look at this chart. Okay, so we've definitely testing the 40-day line. So that is indeed good. So it's not necessarily a bad chart. We're testing the 40-day line, but I don't like the fact that we only have a 61 relative strength. I'd really like to see a better relative strength than that. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is good overall. Really, this is the only area that's failing in. It's got an 89 checklist. It's got number of funds, 5. That's good. 50-day moving average, that's good. It's 50% off the high or better, so that's good. It's up over $10 price, that's good. So everything is checking the boxes on this. So here's what I would do. I wouldn't buy this one night now. I would wait for the reversal. So I would rate. I would when this for this one. I would watch list. I would watch list and wait for the reversal. So that's kind of exactly what I would do here. I would watch this one. I would watch this one, and I'd wait for the reversal because I do think we're going to get a bounce. And one of the best ways to buy is on a reversal line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a reversal line on this. This shows as a double bottom, but it's sort of a cup with handle. That's kind of how my pattern recognition is showing it. Let's see if I can. There we go. Oops. It's not letting me do it. Okay, I'm going to set that there. Okay. So basically, I think you could buy this if it moved above if it moves above about 78 or 79. That's where I think you could buy it because that would show a reversal. Now, hopefully, I can get it to do that, but that would show a reversal. There we go. So if I'm going to draw this reversal line in here again. If it moves above that line, then I think we can we can possibly buy it. But right now, we want to wait for it to bounce off that 40-day line. Everything else about the stock I like. So I definitely I definitely think this is a buy, and I think you can do it. These are both very good stocks, but it's going to be a little bit easier now to pick stocks because we have the market in general has moved higher, is moving higher. So that's a very good thing. You based your advice on oh, okay, very good. Jim, based on your advice, got one full position in Tesla. Great, and then holding CLR. Great. Okay, I think you'll definitely if you have a I think you should will do well on Tesla. Now here's the thing. Tesla has just reversed. It's been a tough you know it's been a tough move higher. Um, but I think I think it's going to work for you. I think it's going to work for you. Now with Continental Resources, I also like this group a lot. If you'll notice, it's an oil and gas group, but it's 21 out of 197. So I like that. We're a little tiny bit extended, but remember, we're not too far extended. You don't have to be exactly. This is just a suggestion here. Okay, this isn't the actual gospel. You can really go almost all the way up here to 10% buying above that pivot point. So I don't really see a problem here. I do think we're going to see with Continental or CLR, we're going to see some very strong action in oil prices by the end of the year. I just think we are. The only thing this is missing on is the earnings per share rating. It's less than 80, but everything else is looking really good on this. We've got a 90. We've got a 90 relative strength on this. Let's look at the let's look at the just the let's do instead of technical analysis, let's do some fundamental analysis. Look at this. We're up 603% in terms of sales. Look at that. We're up 229% in profits. Can you believe that? In just one quarter. So one of the things I really like, if you find a stock that can go up 20% in profits every quarter or better, I'm sure you're going to find a really good stock. I mean, it's just guaranteed. So I really like that, and I also think you'll do. I think you'll do both well in Tesla and in Continental Resources. Kind of two ends of the puzzle. I mean, one is of course the electric car, and the other one is the gasoline to put in. Is the oil to make the gasoline. But I think they're both going to do well. I think they're both going to do well. So thank you for that very much. Let's look at let's look at DocuSign, DOC, that one. See you. And DocuSign is in this kind of funk. I've had DocuSign. I did take some profits in DocuSign. It's pulled back a little bit. Let's go to the daily chart here. Kind of look at it a little bit. I was stopped out of Docu. I wish I hadn't been. I like the stock, but right now I don't know if you could re-enter it here. I just it's a little bit it's a little bit difficult. Let me just I and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off some of this. Yeah, okay, let me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of the annotations. These are for me really. So it makes it tough to it makes it tough to see kind of what's going on here. But uh, here's the thing uh, with that. Oops. So basically, oops, did I get that? Let's just go to the temporary line pen. Okay. So what's happening here is we're still seeing it move below this very critical line here. I had this was a line in the sand that I had on it and tripped below it. So right now I wouldn't be trying to add a position to DocuSign. I want to see more strength. I want to see it move. I want to see if it could reverse. It looks like it's getting some support here, but it's still below the 40-day line. If you have a position and you're down less than 7%, I'd hold this one. But if I didn't have that, if I was initiating a new position, I would be very careful. I want to wait until it moves a little bit up, at least to at least to that line there. That's the 40-day line. So that's where I would look. if I was doing that one. So it's a good stock, and so if you're down less than 7%, definitely consider holding on to it. But if it's more than that, then I think you've got to probably not. You probably have to sell it. So that's kind of a very non-committal answer from me. But um, what is the RS rating? Is it similar to the RSI rating? Well, the relative strength, the RS rating, is a proprietary rating that it rates the stock relative against the S&P 500. So it is not the RSI is the relative strength indicator, and the RS rating is specifically against it rates the stock again over a period of a year on a moving average against the entire S&P 500. So it's a little bit more. It is different than the RSI, and it is a proprietary. It's a proprietary to William O'Neill and Company, but I like to use it because I think it's more accurate. And basically, what it does is, and you can see this with DocuSign, it it forms this blue line, and what this is, if this is you can only see if the stock is declining against the S&P 500 or improving against it. And right now it's declining against it, so I wouldn't be a buyer of it. I like to see I would like to buy DocuSign obviously here as the RSI as the RS rating is moving up. When the RS rating is moving down, I'm not liking it as much. And as you can see, that's part of the checklist here. We don't have the RS rating. The RS rating is less than 80. It passes on every other thing. So I do like the stock, but right now is not. It's a good. That means this is a good time to watch this stock, but not buy it because it is moving against the um, the RS rating. So that's a very insightful question. That's a very insightful question. Okay, we also have a question from TikTok on Alibaba. Now, this one may be setting up as a good short. I want to take a look at it. As you can see, this one has a absolutely horrible chart as it's going basically down, 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 down. Now, what do you do with a stock like this? Well, interestingly enough, this may be a very good candidate. Let's go over the weekly for a bear call spread. If you notice, we're below the 200-day line. We're below that 50-day line. We're below the 21-day line too. So we're basically this is the trend right now. The trend, remember, the trend is your friend, and right now China stocks are trending lower. So with BABA, this might be a very good opportunity to short it. Now, shorting is much more difficult because you can see obviously it's in a downward trend. Would you short it? Well, it's down all the way. So here's what I would do. I would watch this one, and I would wait until it trades up to about 160. And then if it doesn't pull higher than about 160, that's where I think you might want to put on the short. So here's what I'm going to do with BABA. I'm going to go ahead and create an alert, and I'm going to trade an alert at about 160. So I want to see if it can come back up to 160. If it comes back up to 160, then I want to see if it can hold it. If it can't hold it, then I'm interested in possibly shorting it. So that's why I put in that that alert there on that. So thank you for that question. All right, so we did docu. What's happened to what's happened to Apple? Okay, I don't know what's happened to Apple. Let's look at Apple. I sold my position in Apple. It's interesting. If you want to watch a stock and you don't really necessarily want to totally be in it, you should probably buy a small position. That way you'll continue looking at it. Well, the problem with Apple seems to be this 150 level, and I just don't know why. For some reason it can't come above that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set an alert on that line, and I'm going to remove this line. Yeah, I'm going to delete that. Okay, the reason I'm going to set it on this 150 line is this is the line that it seems to have trouble down. It looks like it did get some support and it is moving higher, but I'm really not interested in coming back into Apple until it can move above about 150. That seems to be a very important. That seems to be a very important point. So I'm also going to put another alert on here, and I'm going to set that one basically at about 137. So there we go. So that's the bottom of the buy range. So what's starting to happen is that we seem to be in a range, and that range is from about 137 up to 150. And the question is, what's going on? Well, if it can move above 150, then I'm possibly interested in buying it. But if not, I want to wait for it to reverse lower and come down, and then I think it probably will get support about 137, and then when it's coming back up, I want to buy it. But right now, unfortunately, I can't be a buyer. I don't want to be a buyer of Apple, even though it's got a great checklist. Look at that. It's got a great checklist. But one thing that does kind of concern me a little bit is this AD rating. AD ratings are A, B, and C. This is the accumulation distribution rating of the funds. The question is how many funds are in it. So let's look at that to see if funds are are basically acquiring this or not. And it looks as if, wow, okay, so we've had a pickup in number of funds, so they're not acquiring it as fast, but it seems like there's still quite a bit of funds in here. It's got really good percentage Fidelity Country Funds, 3% of all the Fidelity Country Funds, Apple. So it's got a lot of fund sponsorship, obviously, because it's Apple. I mean, this is one of the biggest stocks out there. Every Vanguard's in it, Schwab, T. Rowe Price, boy, everybody's in it. So here's the thing I would say about Apple. I wouldn't probably want to enter myself right now because I just don't think it's the right moment. I think that we need to I think we need to see it go above about 150 before I'm as interested in getting back in it. So I'd be a little bit careful right now with Apple. Let's take a look at some of the questions. Still holding on to the Inman call. Any thoughts on it? Well, I think it's going to do very well because I'm probably, I'm going to probably be closing that. But let me just show you that call. And I'm glad you saw that INMD. Let's look at it. So this is N mode, and as you can see, it's up to 177 today. So let's check in on the value of that call. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna get the price. We closed today at there we go. We closed at one. We closed at 176 there. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you. Let's take a look in on this spread. See if I can. There we go. So let's take a look. See if I can look in on the N mode spread. And I'm just going to be. There we go. And this is the N mode spread that we have here. And so let me pull it over there. There we go. Okay. So on the N mode spread, we kind of go over here to the value chart and we can take a look. This is how I entered it. And right now, uh, and right now the price for N mode, let's put that in there. See if I can. Nope. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. So the closing price for N mode was 176. So let's take a look kind of where it is now. It's September 24th. So if we want to look to see kind of what the expected value of that should be, let's get that. All right, that's going to be right about here. It's going to be the 24th, and we're going to look at 176. So basically, on this one, look at that. We've made all the money. Isn't that good? So if everything holds up, and there's no reason to suppose that it won't, I think we'll be doing very well with that trade. Let's see. I'm gonna format the shape. Did I get that right? No. I have to make it. Okay. See if I can. Well, anyways, anyways, the expected value right now of this is a lot higher than where it was. As you can see, it's 129. We started out, so we're up on this trade quite a bit. We're we potentially have a maximum return up here of about 559. We're about a fourth of the way there. We're doing quite well on that in mode trade, and part of the reason is because in mode is going to be in mode is going to be splitting. Now there we go. I finally got it working there. Okay, goodness gracious. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, on the in mode trade, we're worth at least 129. We may be actually worth more. Let's see. I want to see if I put the link in there. Hopefully I did. Let's see if I did. Anyways, so here's kind of the probabilities where we're going. There's a very high probability now that we're going to go much higher on this trade, and we're gonna make all the money here. So let's see. Okay. So we're very likely to make all the money on this one. So here's what I would do if you're in that in mode trade. I take that off. I took that. If you're still in that in mode trade, I would stay in it for a little time because we're not quite at 50% of the profit. We want to probably stay into it maybe another until until after the split. Let's see when the split is. I don't remember that offhand. Okay, it splits 4 for wait, that's the history of the split. Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna split from to on October 1st. Okay, so here's what I would recommend doing if you're in that in mode trade. I would hold the spread, and this is what I'm gonna do. Hold the spread until the 30th, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 more days. And then I would close the trade because it probably will reverse after that. But that's great. I'm glad that you were able to get in on that in mode trade and make the money there. So that is indeed a good thing. All right, check for me HCMC. No, I haven't done anything on HCMC, so let's take a look at HCMC. HCMC. Oh, no, is that right? HCMC. Hmm. Well, I don't see that. See that? It's HCMC. Oops. I don't see that one. So I'm going to have to move on, unfortunately, on that. Okay, we did docu. IGT. Let's look at IGT. Mark, and this is for Mark. Hopefully your weather is there very nice in Rhode Island. So let's look at IGT right now. International Gaming Technology. This is a very good stock, by the way, Mark. You're a good picker. You're picking some good stocks here. This is one of my favorites. This is a company in Reno, Nevada, and they make most of this. I think I think they're still in Reno. Yeah, they used to make all of the slot machines. No, I guess they're in the United Kingdom now, but they used to be based in Reno. They used to have a factory there, and I used to many years ago. I used to see it. But this is a cup pattern, very nice. There is a buy point at 26.43 on this one. Relative strength at 92. That's looking good. Checklist is pretty good at 78. Um, it's in the leisure gaming. I do like that area a lot. We've got some nice strength here. So let's look at the weekly chart to kind of look at the fundamentals a little bit. Boy, look at that. Their sales are up. That's good. But they're still no. They've got positive cash flow. I'm liking that. And we have base on base on base. So yeah, I think you have a winner there, Mark. I think this is a good one. I'm going to mark this down for my um for me because I definitely like this chart. This is a very good chart, and I think it very good chart. I think it will do you very well on that. So great. Well, thanks for that, and let's go to the next question. Okay, go down here. Let's look at Okay, let's we did. I think we did a little bit of MRO too. That's really good. Looking at the SPY. for calls. Oh, bought IMD call spread. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. Okay, very good, very good. Saw the cup and handle also. Yeah, let's again, Mark, you're picking up some very good ones here. Let's go back on to let's look again at AMD. I think that this one has, you know, not only is this good technically, but it's good fundamentally because what we've done is we've done this. Let's go to the daily here. Um, we have this reversal line, and it looks like we're pushing above that. That's looking very good. We had this buy point here. This is the first time I bought here was about 95 when it came right up here, and then it just jumped way up here, and then of course it's pulled back. But it's formed the base, and it's got some support right about 100. That seems to be support for it. As you can see right there, and it's moving up. So this is looking very good, and I think a call spread is going to work out very nicely on this one as well. So I'm going to also probably put out something for Monday on this. I'm going to take a look at a little bit more over the weekend on this one to see if we can come up with some nice bull spreads on this one. But thank you very much, Mark. Thank you for that. And let's get to the next question. Thanks, Hans. Let's look at Nvidia. Now I'm still holding Nvidia. You know, Nvidia is one of my favorite stocks. It just hasn't. It's been sort of consolidating a little bit. There we go. It's been consolidating a little bit, and it's been off somewhat. We came down, we tested there very nicely, but we didn't. You know, we tested right at the pivot. It's uncanny how it came right down to the pivot, the 205.33 pivot, and bounced. So there's definitely still a lot of support for this. Looking at the volume, you can see we're moving down on the volume. That's actually good because that tells me when the prices are moving up and the volume is moving down, see that? That is a very bullish signal because that means fewer people are willing to sell. The weak hands are being have been washed out, and you really only have the strong hands left. So you're having to pay the bid price, and when you do, and I'm sorry, we're having to pay the ask price. When you have to pay the ask price, that's when the stock goes up. So it does look like we did correct to the 21-day line, but I am absolutely not worried about that at all. That's normal. That's normal. That's where it should get support, and it definitely does. So Nvidia is finally looking looking good here. So I definitely think that you could buy Nvidia right at this point. So I think that you know, I think Nvidia right now is absolutely buyable. So I'm sorry, NVDA is buyable right now. And if you're not in, if you're in it, you know, you definitely should stay in it because oops, you should if you're in it, you should definitely stay in it because this is very good chart. This is very good chart action here. So 220 is not a bad place to be buying Nvidia based on this chart. We see this nice bounce, and then we see some very nice support at the 21-day line. So and decreasing volume. So that shows we're going to be going higher. We're definitely going to be going. We're definitely going to be going higher on that. So that is looking very good. All right, so let's. Oh, and you wanted to look at Roku as well. Let's take a look at Roku. Let's look at Roku. And Roku, unfortunately, is not the chart for Roku is not as good as the one for AMD or Nvidia. Unfortunately, the Roku chart, I don't like this Roku chart. We're below that 200-day line. It does look like we are getting some support, but I think I'd be careful. So, you know, I would be careful with Roku. I wouldn't buy this one right now. Just my humble opinion on it. So, you know, so Roku is not a buy currently. So that's from a technical standpoint that I'm saying that. I don't think Roku is a buy currently based on based on the technicals. I don't think Roku is a buy based on these technicals right now. We're still in a downward trend. We need it to break trend and move higher. And right now at 321, it's not doing that. It's still in this downward trend. Also, if you'll notice on the volume, this is always look at this. The volume is going up and the price is going down. Well, what does that mean? Well, what that means is there's still a lot of people that are willing to sell at the bid price. So right now, I think Roku is not a buy. Why? Because it's in a downward trend. It's below the 200-day line, and the volume is going up. So more people want to sell. So I would not be as interested. I like the stock and I use the service, but I would not be interested in buying it at this level just because the chart doesn't look good, unfortunately. Let's see more likes on this video. Jim on this video without fail. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry to be, I sound like I'm a negative guy here, and I don't want to be. I want to show you stocks that I've been buying today that I think are particularly good. Of course, I'm biased because I'm owning them, but so I want to look at Starbolt Carriers, SBLK. Now, here's the thing: the price of freight is going to go up big time, very very soon. And what happened is, Starbolt came up here to the buy point, the 25, 24 buy point, and then boom, it went all the way down, but it got support at the 40-day line, which I'm really liking. Now, here's what the reason I'm saying this is based on the volume, because I always like to analyze the volume. If you'll notice, there was a lot of selling there, but as the volume has come down, the price has gone up. Okay. So that is a bullish signal. Okay. Volume goes down, price goes up. You'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row it's gone up. So that's pretty good. And people I think are trying to buy it, but I don't think there's as many sellers. So what's happening is that this is forcing it up here a little bit, at least in the midterm, at least in the short term. It looks as if we got support right at the 40-day line on this one. So this is one of the ones I do like. It's Starbolt Carriers, SBLK. Let's see if I could. So SBLK, Star Bulk Carriers. And I do like this one, at least for right now. Of course, I'm very fickle. If stock doesn't, if a stock isn't working for me, then I don't like it as much. But right now, I like this one. Oops, that's a saber. Starbolt Carriers, and this is one I think that you definitely can go into right now. And I definitely think that is a good one. That's one that I was buying, that I've been buying today. That I've been buying today. Let's see if we can get another one that I did buy today. And I did add to my position. I already had a position in Palantir, but I added more today on Palantir, even though it was a down day. And I want to show you why. I have a lot of conviction on Palantir. I think it's a very interesting stock and a very interesting company. And so I want to kind of show you that one. So PLTR, Palantir. ENTIR. Oops, I keep doing that wrong one there. So this is Palantir, and basically, why do I like it? Well, let's zoom in on the action. Let's zoom in on the action here. And as you can see, even though it pulled back today, even though it pulled back here a little bit, it's definitely gotten support at the 21-day line. It's reversed with this cup and handle, but more importantly, it's above this critical 2750. And I do think that this is the level of resistance. So what I'm also seeing here is a decreasing volume, at least in the short term, if I can draw it right, a decreasing volume, and a little bit of an increase in the price. So that's showing me that the weak hands are being taken out, and that looks very strong. Now, hopefully, we can see some more action on Monday. But for long, this I like this one for a long term. There's a lot of reasons I like Palantir. So those are two that I've been buying as of today, and I think I also bought. What did I also buy? And I also bought. I bought Visa and I bought Snap yesterday, right before it went up. So let's kind of look in on Snap. I think it's doing pretty well. Let's go back here. See if I can do that. Let's look at Snap here a little bit. And I think this one is done very well. I bought this one yesterday, right below. This is why buy points are so important, everybody. I bought Snap basically right yesterday, right about here. As you can see, it's pulled up very, very nicely to 83, and it's up after hours. That's why one of the best places to buy is right as it moves above that buy point. And the buy point on Snap, and I talked about that a little bit yesterday, is 80, 85. I did buy this one yesterday, and matter of fact, I want to take a yeah. I did buy this one, so that's looking good too. So it's still buyable. I think it's still buyable right now if you want to get in on Snap. All right. Well, it's over an hour. I've been going on, and I know that you probably need to get to the weekend, which is a great thing. I will be back on Monday I'll be back on Monday at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern, and I hope everybody is going to have a very nice weekend. I know I'm going to try to have one. I think it's the last weekend that I can. it's the it's the last weekend that I can go to the pool. So I'm I'm really I'm gonna hopefully enjoy that going to the pool. But everybody, I hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe, everyone, and happy trading. And I will see you on Monday at 3:30, 4:30 Eastern.